So on today's session, we're really lucky. We've got Al with us as well as Alison. Hello to you both. And I think Al's going to talk about something with the referral fee. And I think Alison wants to have a look at a new feature. So I shall hand it over and say hi.
Hi, folks.
Hi, everybody. Al, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first and get it out of the way.
Go for it.
I'm not as camera friendly as these two, so but I'll get more straight to the point. So all I want to speak to you about is we've changed how we calculate the referral fees. Like previously, when we got referral fees, we'd base it on the category that we sort of get from Keeper, and then we use like Amazon's documentation to work out what the percentage is. And the way referral fees work, there's three different sorts of fees. There's like a fixed fee, which is like normally it's 15%, but it can be a different percent in different categories. There's a variable fee, which is like in saying grocery and beauty, where if it's under £10, it's 8%. Over £10, it's 15%. Well, I say 8, it's like 8 point a little bit because of the digital services tax. Anyway, so that's your variable one. Then the other one is a tiered referral fee, which is that's on like in a jewelry category, in the clothing category, where up to X sale price they charge you this percent. Then anything above that sale price they charge you another percent. So those are your three different sorts of fees.
So I saw a post somewhere the other day, I think it was in Cindy's group, where someone said it's better, you get a better profit if you sell something in grocery for $9.99 than if you do for sale for $10.99. Apparently you actually end up taking home more money. Is that what you mean about the referral fee differing?
Yes, because like if you were charging £9.99, or even if you were charging £10, your referral fee is like 8.2%.
Okay.
Well, if you're charging £10 and a penny, your referral fee is 15.3%.
Okay.
So
that's
so you've got the biggest, it's going to be between like £10 and £11 something or other, where you'll make more profit if you sell at £9.99.
Oh wow! Okay, awesome.
It's in grocery. It's in a few categories. So like we do indicate in SAS if it is one of these referral fees that is variable.
Oh, okay.
And that's giving me an idea of what I'll do. I'll add it to the list. We'll do an alert where if you've priced something in that range where there'll be more profit if you're $9.99, what we'll do, we'll raise an alert saying, consider your pricing, you'll make more money.
Pricing something, yeah.
Right. After this conversation, I will add that to our feature.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I've been doing quite a lot with fees over the last couple of weeks where like we did have some differences. It was more in other European marketplaces in a couple of categories where Amazon would charge one thing and we'd be showing something else.
Okay.
So we've totally changed how we do it now, where we're using Amazon to get these fees. I've been doing spot checks. I've checked a few thousand items. I'm like, we agree with Amazon 100% of the time now. But what I'm finding is Amazon is actually sometimes wrong, which is one of the, I'm like,
oh.
So it's in Italy and Spain, the documentations, and this is only very slight, but it's in some of the tiered categories where there's a digital services tax, and they're saying like, I think it's above €250. It should be, they're saying it's 5%, but they're not. Their calculator it's actually 5.2%, which isn't a lot of money when you're sort of working your profits out. But like when you're doing a computer calculation comparing it, it doesn't match.
Yeah, and I suppose if you sell 500 of an item that's all got that tiny little error, that will soon eat into your margin.
It'll add up, yeah.
And like so, it's basically when you look at the documentation, it is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's kind of similar to how Alzo's kind of forewarned people when you sell in other marketplaces that there's always things to consider. This is definitely one of them to consider as well, is that the fees can differ. You never want to walk in assuming that it's exactly the same in all the marketplaces. So just one of those other considerations, and especially post-Brexit, if you're going to be selling in another marketplace. So.
Yeah, I think we all need to rethink. I mean, I've never sold in Europe. I've been a UK seller from the beginning, but I think a lot of people are trying to find different ways. There's kind of prep centers popping up in Germany and stuff, and there's lots of different ways we're going to try and sort of make sure we can sell in Europe. It's really good to know, and it's really good to know that you understand and care about that level of detail. Because fundamentally, we all have SAS, and we just literally trust that it's really accurate and it's good. And when you kind of come out with little tiny weeny things like that most of us kind of just carry on and dismiss, it shows just how much you care as a developer. So I think that's really awesome. Hats off to that one.
Yeah. So with that one, that basically means the Amazon documentation and the Amazon profit calculator do differ with each other. Like I'll raise a case with them, but I can't see anything happening, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's
going
to be an internal conflict or an internal disagreement or something.
I think it's the documentation that's wrong rather than their calculator.
Oh, wow.
Because like the documentation is right in all the other cases, and it's just these couple of ones where they haven't added on this extra fraction of a % for the digital services tax.
Well, I don't know if you saw the news that broke yesterday, but no point emailing Jeff anymore because he's resigned.
Yeah.
Out of there. Exactly.
On your screen, just above where you've annotated, just below my square, if you can see it, you've got estimated time to sales. That is the most funky update I've seen in ages.
Right. Can I just
explain?
Can I just go? I haven't quite finished on the referral fee. Sorry.
That's right. Go for it.
Yeah. So the other thing that we've been finding with the referral fees is like, we totally agree with what Amazon say they're going to charge, but I'm checking them in more depth, and sometimes they say they're going to charge wrong. Where basically, sometimes they're putting things in the wrong category. So you're getting the fee for one category in another category. It doesn't happen all that often, but it is happening. And these things are like, there's some things which you could understand, like a house, like something could be classed as being in household and grocery. It kind of is in both. But I've actually seen some things which is like, it's a wet wipe being classified as jewelry. And it's like,
oh yeah, because they had when COVID first kicked in, they were banning loads of stuff that was nothing to do with COVID because there was a word in there that they weren't happy with.
That could be what's caused it. Like, I'm not sure the best we'll be doing this yet, because I was going to look at raising an alert when we see whether we're getting from Amazon a referral fee, which is definitely not for that category. But I don't want to be doing alert all the time, obviously. So when we're sure, like if they're seeing, if the category says it's in grocery, and the referral rule that we're getting back says this is a watch, then we're going to what we'll do is raise an alert saying you might want to contact Amazon and tell them like, why are you saying you're going to charge me this much? Because like there's certainly things in the catalogue which the referral fees are wrong, and this isn't a massive percentage of items, but it does exist.
And you only need to hit like 1 or 2 people and it's problematic. So even the number of sellers there are and the number of stuff people sell, it doesn't take very much for it to start to skew people's results.
I think if any subscribers who are watching run into that and are pretty sure that's what you've found, just post it in Emily's group, tag Al, or come over to the Seller Amp group and
do you need to
ask the question.
Alison, is that what information do you need to have a look at it?
Normally, the ASIN will do, because like the way, like we can probably post a link with this video to the Amazon sort of referral tables, because like each category has got different, it specifies what the rule is for the referral for that. And like we get the fees from Amazon, I mean, work out which rule it is. So it'd be a case of if we're saying, this is like 15%, you could always cross-reference and just to see if that is in the right category. Like what I think I will do in the alert, because the ones I've seen, it's been showing things as jewelry, which shouldn't be jewelry.
So if it's 15% and the fee should only be 8%, that could be a massive difference, actually.
In that case, it could be. Like I'm not seeing, because the jewelry one's a bit of a weird one where it's tiered, and it goes above like £250, and there's not going to be much sort of grocery above £250.
But there was definitely loads of stuff that was completely unrelated, that was causing problems for people. There was I can't remember, yeah, there was loads of things that's causing problems for people it shouldn't have done, because there was a word in there like antibacterial. So like the spot cream and stuff, like that would be under health and beauty, but because it had antibacterial face wash, Amazon was like, no, it was COVID. When COVID first kicked in, they were like, no, it's COVID, etc., etc. So there was, I don't know if that skewed, because that was why they created the home health and personal care. They made a whole new category, didn't they? Because it used to be just beauty. And then I think that came from the whole kind of COVID antibacterial sort of stuff, I think.
Okay. Don't know.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting. Now can you do the estimated sales?
Other one, yeah, I was going to say, now we'll talk about other one, and certainly, you know,
again, if you want, you get
let's hear it from Al. But the other one we want to talk about that you are seeing now are the things to do with estimated sales. And estimated time to sale is the newest one that has appeared on SAS. So in the ranks and prices panel, and where this came from is obviously estimated sales, as we've made the updates at the end of last year. Great, wonderful. But really, we wanted to give people more of a forward-looking view as to, okay, if I'm here, I'm scanning, I'm doing RA, doing OA, just have a quick glance of how long we estimate based on sales that it will take you before you sell the product. So obviously it's a snapshot. So in our case with our beloved squirrels, looks like Amazon's back in stock now, Emily. They didn't have that many last time we looked at them. So
you bought them all.
I bought them all, exactly. A room full of squirrels back there. But based on what we know now, who's selling, here's what we think it's going to take you to sell this product. So
can you just clarify something? So is that to sell one? So it says 6 weeks plus. Is that to sell one? How does, okay.
Yeah, that's estimated time.
167 sales per month. How does it take 6 weeks to sell one?
Right. So that's estimated time to sale is your estimated time to your first sale.
Oh.
So if I quickly explain the way we calculate estimated sales in the first place, there's something that's sort of fairly slow selling, which is like under 100 items a month. We can generally use like drops in the sort of Keeper BSR chart. So basically, when your BSR change, it normally indicates one or more sale, one or more type of sale. And it's the way people have done it for years. You count how many drops there are to get a rough estimate of how many sort of units sort of something sells. Like it only works for fairly sort of, let's say, slow selling, like under 100 units a month. Really, to be accurate, it's probably more like under sort of 50 units a month, because like Amazon doesn't always change the BSR straight away. Keeper isn't watching every sale, it doesn't know. So a fast selling product, it might be checking hundreds of times a day to see if the BSR is changing. It probably isn't checking 100 times a day, but it isn't going to, Amazon doesn't drop it every single time, and Keeper isn't updating all the time. So for slow selling things, it's pretty good to give you a rough idea of how many things sell. And it is a rough idea. It isn't going to be, it can never be 100%, because somebody could be buying more than one item. You can work out a little bit by how much it drops, but it's an estimate. So for slow selling things, we estimate it that way, looking at the drops, like you would do it if you were doing it manually.
Yep.
When things become sort of faster selling, like more than 100 a month, you can't really do it like that, because like the drops just aren't there. And also, like if like a number one selling product, if it's a number one selling product all month, there'll be no drops in the Keeper chart because it hasn't changed.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. So
never thought of that. How obvious?
Yeah, like for really fast selling products, you'll get very few drops because it doesn't change.
Because it'll start at like 10,000, it might go down to 7, and it might well stay there, won't it?
It's always in stock. It's always selling. I was looking at a monitor, helping my dad find a monitor the other day, and it was the bloody fifth product in electronics. It was like, holy cow! Wow. I can't even imagine how many they're selling.
How many that's selling? That's huge.
Yeah, right.
And with that, if we actually counted the Keeper drops on that, it'd probably be like 200 for the month, and it's probably selling that many a day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so for fast selling things, you can't get your sales that way. So the way we do it for the faster selling things, we have like known data points of either items that we know exactly how much they have sold because we know people that sell these things. And then we basically do a graph, work out where it will be on the graph roughly to make an estimate.
Okay.
And like at the end of the day, it's an estimate. Like we are confident with the estimate, but it's not going to be 100% accurate.
Yeah,
so
it's an estimate. It's an educated estimate.
It's an educated estimate.
So Alison and I, when we do these videos, we're always saying to you, put all the pieces of the jigsaw together and you make your own decision. Don't make your decision based on only one thing. So here, I wouldn't go and find a wholesale deal and buy 500 because it says 767. You have to look at everything in the round.
Yeah.
Exactly. And oh, by the way, Amazon's sitting on at least 999 of them. So yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, Amazon says they are, which probably not, but there we go.
Exactly.
So basically, that's how we calculate the estimated sales.
Yep.
So the estimated time to sale is based on the estimated sales, and it's also based on the stock levels of the top 10 sellers. So the way we calculate the estimated time to sell, we're going to say everybody, all stock before you, like I say before, that's cheaper than you, has to sell first.
Yeah.
And like, the buy box might be shared. You might share the buy box of some of the items that are cheaper than you, but so I've got messages pinging in at the moment. But for this estimate, what we're going to assume is like everybody else that's cheaper than you is going to sell first.
Yep.
What we don't want to do is sort of say, you're definitely going to share the buy box with these people, but you might not. So we'd rather be on the safe side. Let everybody cheaper than you sell first. Okay.
Sorry.
And then what we do?
Let me just jump in there. When you say cheaper than you, what does that mean? Is that when you enter your price that you found it for your OA? Is that so? It's based on. So in this current example, you're looking at £18 because that's what you've entered. So if you'd entered like £14, you'd go above Amazon.
Right. So in this example, so £18. So we're saying all the offers below £18 have to sell before you do. So that's going to be Amazon at 17.97 and they're 1,000. Then the next guy at 19.95. Actually, no. Yeah, it's just going to be Amazon that has to sell before you.
Yep.
So if we take our sale price to £30, for example.
So as we're saying that they've got 999 plus, it sells 767 a month as an estimate. So that's going to be at least a month for Amazon to sell out. So we're calculating that time for Amazon to sell out. And so the reason this is 6+ weeks is because there's a plus before us. So like Amazon might have like 50,000 of these in. So it's 6+ weeks because it isn't just 6 weeks, it's 6+.
That's an unknown.
Yeah.
So, okay. So do you happen to have an example of one that's hasn't got Amazon at the top, or is that, am I?
Yeah. Yep. Let me find one here. Let me just look in my history.
So
Chat amongst yourselves. Chat amongst yourselves.
With that. So where did that feature come from? Did you always want to add it? Did someone ask for it? What made you come up with it?
It just makes sense.
Oh, okay. It's a good enough reason.
Yeah, it's because the reason you want to know your estimated sales, it's more like how long is something going to take to sell. You're not necessarily using it to base how many to buy to sell. Certainly, if you're doing RA and ORA, you're not normally buying in the hundreds.
No, I always say to people, when you found something new, send in 3 or 5, and with an expectation of what you think will happen. So you should know roughly how much they'll sell for and roughly how long they'll take to sell. So this kind of helps you to know if your gauge is accurate or not. So if you send in 5 of something and you still got 5 in a month's time, you know that maybe you've overestimated it.
Yeah.
Yoda.
There we go. The child has been good for putting searches together and stuff.
I have to say that out of the squirrels, I love Yoda. I love Yoda.
So this is quite a good one. So if we can we just scroll the screen down a little bit, just so we can see the offers. Let's see all the offers.
Sorry. Other way. There we go.
Oh, have you got the keys to the keyboard, Alison?
I do.
Yeah. Actually, if you just shrink the quick info panel, just so you can move the ranks and prices up.
Let me shrink the product and
okay.
there we go.
Right. So with this one, we're estimating 440 units are selling a month. And you can just expand the quick in first so you can see the price. Okay, so with this one, where you've got a sale price of 129.95, so that would sit in 7th place on the offers chart in price order. So with this one showing 440 units a month, so for it to get to your price, we're going to have to sell offers sort of 1 to 6 first. Which actually, if you just so cumulative stock on the 6th one is 146. So you're going to sell 146 units. So that's how it's working out. So
either request
so many days to sell those.
Feature update, right? I don't know which way it's going to go. So either way,
Okay.
So what happens if you only look at Prime? What happens if I only want to compete with the Prime sellers? If you press the Prime, does that change the 11 days?
No, it doesn't change your estimated sales. It just changes the offers.
Okay.
And again, it's what I look like. Again, it's an estimate. I wouldn't want to estimate that you would be just competing with Prime.
Because that's making options.
So that's something you want to take into account and say, yeah, but there's lots of FBMs here. It could sell faster because of that.
So I could, if I was thinking in those terms, because a lot of the stuff I stock, I try and have only 3 or 4 FBA competitors and loads of FBMs because that's where I kind of like to be. So I would just take the 15 off and sit somewhere between the 107 and 114. I'd just try and sit there, and obviously just taking 15 off of your 440.
Yeah, and then if you get the hint above the 11 days.
Yep.
So this shows you more how it's calculated. Where available stock below your price is 146 units. So it's using that to calculate how many has to sell before you come into the range.
Yep.
Then it shows the number of offers close to your price. So we're looking at 5%. So if there's any offers that are 5% above your sale price, the number is there. And then you calculate it based on sharing with those offers. So if you just click on the offer number 6, which is 127.99, you click on the price. Yeah. So now if we go back to the estimated time to sale and hover over there, so you'll see now number of offers close to your price. There's 1, which is the offer that you're matching.
Oh wow!
So that basically that offers within 5% of your price. So you're sharing it with them. So as you're sharing it, it's going to take twice as long to sell.
Yeah.
So like if it sold 1 a day and there was 2 of you, it's going to average like a day and a half for you to sell it.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
That's a great trick to know too, is that clicking on the other offers price and look what the sale price changes. Our sale price changes then.
Yeah. So by clicking on those, you'll see the estimated time to sale changes based on sale price.
Awesome. And does this only work in the current, that you want to be looking at that in the current? What happens if you're in the 30 days or 90 days? Does that won't change that, surely?
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
No.
Which from your perspective, from the developer and the sales perspective, which one of those would you look at? Where would you leave your current kind of view? Personally, I quite like 90 days. I think anything over that, and it's a bit, seasons change, budgets change, anything over that's a bit big. 30, I don't really know. I normally like 90.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would also typically be 90. Like when I'm sourcing for Q4, then yeah, I'll be much more looking at the current and the 30-day one. When I'm looking for more like longer term rest of the year, then yeah, 90 days is good. Yeah.
Replens are where I try and sort of place a lot of my items. So I think 90 days gives you a good gauge as to what sort of sales in that time frame.
And I think, and I think we mentioned this before, Emily, but we specifically moved it to the top because it was people were either stuck on one or they're kind of forgetting about it. So it is good to just assure, to make sure you know which view you're looking at.
Yeah, because I might in your settings you specify which you want it to be the default. So when it will go straight to that one, because previously it used to remember between scans, but people would forget you left it on the 90-day average or whatever. So now you specify in your settings what default you want it to start at, and it'll come to that every time.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. So actually, I really like that estimated time fee. I think that works perfectly with the estimated sales. I think the two together give you a really powerful tool to make a best decision that you possibly can. I think that's really good.
Yeah, because I have considered moving that, well, not moving it, actually copying that into the quick info panel as well. Because I think like when you're analysing a product, you're checking you're eligible, looking at your BSI and the max cost. The next thing people often look at is how much stock there is.
Yep.
And the reason you're looking at how much stock there is because you want to know how long it's going to take you to sell it.
Yeah, for sure.
So by moving that into, or adding that into the quick info, it's going to happen probably in the near future.
I love the fact that it's based on what's predicted data rather than historical data, because if you look at advent calendars on, you know, at the end of November, you're going to get a very different result to if you look at the end of December when everyone's finished eating their last chocolate. So it's really good that it's based wherever you are. It's like a line in the sand, and you can look forwards. You know, you're not kind of skewed by any historical changes and things. Exciting. So is there anything you can tell us that you're working on, or are you busying away with just lots of bits and bobs?
There's quite a few bits and bobs that I'm working on at the moment, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Like one thing that just came up yesterday was Amazon starting to appear on listings on the offer using the global shipping. I don't know if you could sign up for the global shipping that Amazon, letting Amazon buy off you to sell in other marketplaces.
Is that actually EU
as other offers now as Amazon EU or Amazon US? So we're going to add that into the offers panel. So they'll basically show if Amazon's selling it, but it's not the normal Amazon, because people are sort of saying it's kind of like FBM, where there's a shipping cost because it's being shipped from another country. But it is by Amazon, but it hasn't got all the prime benefits as normally by Amazon.
One of my favourite items that I sell, hopefully I'm not giving away too much of one of my favourites here, but there's me, one other FBM seller, and then the last one is Amazon US. And although they have Amazon and they look like Amazon, it's the orange like colour and everything's the same, they're obviously not Amazon. So I do treat them as any other FBM seller.
Other seller, yeah.
Actually,
I was a bit nervous at first, but then once I realised they weren't going to bother me, it was fine.
Yeah. If you could send me that ASIN, that'd be really useful. I'm going to be doing that probably today.
Yes, I'll send it over.
We will highlight it as being Amazon, but like with the seller fulfilled prime, we do the diagonal stripes to show it's like half prime.
What are they? They're kind of not one, not the other, are they? They're a bit.
We'll do that as well with the Amazon one. Where it'll be like with an Amazon stripe and an FBM stripe, and then we'll either put US or EU in the box, so you can see that. So
just coming from like a seller's perspective, if you normally avoid Amazon at all costs on your listings, would you also recommend people do the same with Amazon US and Amazon EU, or not? What's your recommendation? Because you still sell, so what's your recommendation? What would you do?
Like I actually don't sell anymore. But
you haven't got time. The number of beeps that came through on your computer, bless you. You haven't got time.
I would compete against it, because typically the shipping is going to be longer because it's coming from another country. There's postage costs in there as well. Like, I would compete, but I'd certainly be aware of it and just make sure that you are getting sales.
Yeah.
So, and I would say, that estimated time to sale takes on even more of an iffy sort of situation, because you don't know what they're going to do.
I'm not as wary. I'm aware of them, but I'm not as nervous as I am. I mean, I just try and avoid Amazon, because I just don't see the point in kind of competing. There's so many listings where they're not on. Why compete against them? But that's exciting. Oh, well, it was really good to. Hopefully you'll come and do a few more of these videos with this. It's been really nice actually to hear from you as from the developer's perspective. It's really interesting.
Like the feature that I'm sort of working on next, it'll be worth doing a full demo of, to be honest. It's big.
We'll just leave it at that.
We want to know.
It will help people tremendously. So.
Yeah, exciting, awesome. Thank you so much. That was really good. So yeah, so this will be available on YouTube for anyone who wants to watch it. If they want to join SAS, is there a free trial, or how do people go about joining?
Yeah, there's a 2-week free trial. I think there'll probably be a link below this post, but yeah, it's selleramp.com/EMZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll give you, you'll sign up, you get 2 weeks free trial, give it a try before you have to pay anything.
And everything.
And it's not, and like, you don't have to pay up front and then get the money back. It's just, you've got 2 weeks to try it.
Excellent.
And Emily, as Emily has said so many times, once you are ready to sign up, the prices are absolutely
so good.
value.
Yeah, so good.
$11.95 for 1,000 scans a month, and we'll take it up just a couple pounds in order to give you unlimited amount of scans.
Well worth it. You're adding so many features now, so yeah, I think it's
because those prices are going to be grandfathered in.
Wow.
Prices will be. I'm not doing this as so you must register now. Like prices will be going up.
It can't stay at £12 when you're adding features like that, because that's 100% unique. It can't stay at £12. That's just madness. No,
but yeah, if you do get it now,
I do want to keep it really good value.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I think it's a labour of love, isn't it, SAS? I think you do it because you absolutely love it. Yeah.
It is. Like there's so many different things I want to do, and like it's.
Somebody, just while you're here, actually, really quickly, somebody posted in my group earlier and they said, does it work in Germany? So if there are people who are looking at the European markets, does SAS work for other marketplaces?
Yeah, yes, it works in all the European marketplaces that Keeper supports.
Okay.
So you've got France, Spain, Italy, and Germany.
Just clicked on the Germany and the European marketplaces panel, and it switched everything around to Germany here.
Oh, that's all you've got to do?
No, well, that's for doing.
That's for doing it off of that, but you actually set it up in your settings what your default marketplace is.
Oh,
as I was saying with the referral fees earlier, part of that was for the European marketplaces. So all the referral fees are correct in the European marketplaces.
That was a very neat one.
VAT for you've got different VAT rates in different European marketplaces.
Yeah.
So we've done that. And yeah, it's
sorry. So SAS knows what the VAT rate is in whichever country. It's all that's factored in.
Yeah, if that's if you set it as your home marketplace, yeah, it would use the VAT rates for that marketplace.
That's awesome. Excellent. Right. I think I should wrap it up, because otherwise I'll keep going off on tangents all over the shop and I'll never end. But I thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you again soon now, whatever it is you're working on, you can reveal. Look forward to it. But thank you so much. I will hopefully see you both very soon. Take care.
Thanks, Emily.
Bye.
Bye.